Like, can we find a smell for a Dang Souls character next?
Yeah, dude.
Let's do it.
Yep, we're talking about Laine de Verre.
Glass wool.
Awful accent there. Glass wool by Serge Lutens. With, you know, you got the classic little cap that you can replace your spray cap with and turn it into a splash bottle, if you so choose. And then the
if you so fancy.
And then the little atomizer just screws on there, you know, and
Yeah.
got this really tight, snug fitting cap there.
Yeah, there.
So this is part of the O, you know, the EAU, the O line from Serge Lutens that most people just don't like. Most people absolutely hate this stuff. The Serge Lutens O line. Because Serge Lutens is known for its opulent oriental fragrances and its you know, love of sweetened tobaccos and ambers and the like. And out of nowhere they come out with their cologne line, which is also incredibly subversive as it stands. So most people hate this shit, and we're here to talk about it.
Just hate it. For me, about the bottle, I really enjoy the text. It's got like a big giant L and a big giant V. I don't know, I just think it looks really sharp. You've got the big L, and then it's got Laine rested in it. But you got two V's. You got the big V and another V. So they don't double L it, but they double V it. The bottle itself is nothing exciting.
Yeah, I like.
It's minimalist, which I enjoy. I think it's pleasing, but it's nothing crazy.
Because I think just for the O series, they went with these little square bottles. Usually, I'm pretty sure they're more rectangular rather than just, or you know what I mean though, like where they're square like this, and usually I think they're flattened out a bit more. Which I like the other versions more, but I mean, this is fine.
Yeah, I mean, average bottle. That's about it. Anything else you want to say about the bottle?
No, pretty. I like that that it comes with the cap. I always like that about the Serge Lutens, that you can change them from splash to spray. I think that's very neat. I mean, it's a super small feature, but costs like an extra probably 5 cents in production for a huge batch.
Yeah.
You know, and for us, it, you know, doesn't cost anything extra, which is awesome.
Yeah. And that's kind of cool. I do like the matte finish on the top.
Yeah.
I prefer matte versus shiny. So there we go. That's that. Do you want to talk about the fragrance?
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the idea here real quick. So Laine de Verre translates to glass wool, and I suppose that's kind of the idea that they were hoping to evoke here, like an insulating tool, I guess, or product of insulation.
Also, one, this doesn't smell like glass wool. Trust me, I know, I use it at work. And two, like, glass wool wouldn't be anything you would want to wear. I got it, like, on my fingertips once, and it was just so annoying, and it just, like, irritated my skin. Like, little itty-bitty shards, because it's, like, little pieces of glass. Why would you name something after something so irritating and something that does not smell pleasant?
But I think that's kind of the point. It's the O series, right, which is supposed to be about cologne and smelling very, very fresh and light and airy and just kind of pretty.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it's like the most hated quote-unquote genre of perfumery by high perfume lovers, you know? So Serge Lutens, one of the probably like more respectable and more heavily invested in fragrance for their approach to like a citrus or a fresh aquatic type fragrance. If they did put out something like Sauvage or something, you know, like Bleu de Chanel or something like that, I'd be really disappointed and I would lose faith in the house. Kind of like I lost faith in Dior a little bit when they pumped out Sauvage. A lot of Dior's fragrances I really have deep respect for, but that one was just kind of like
trash.
It's obviously, yeah, pandering to the lowest common denominator, which you would kind of expect a aquatic or citrus fragrance to do, which is why most people in high industry hate them or avoid them. But here we have something that, with the name even, already is telling you this is going to be something radically different. And I think a lot of people who approach the O series by Serge Lutens are already frustrated by Serge Lutens having done this, because they think of Serge Lutens being only in the modern camp enough that they will continue to pursue high modernism, but not in the modern camp enough that they get pushed over into the camp of who they probably perceive to be lunatics like Marcel Duchamp and the like. So anyways, that's my little perception, at least, of the name. They've got this long story about the Ice King or some shit.
Really?
Which, yeah, I just don't give a fuck about. That's kind of what I'm looking at going on here, right? I mean, they create these elaborate stories in this name and put it in their high perfumery bottles, and yet when you get the smell, what do you get?
This does not smell like... I mean, it might smell like what aldehydes perfumers use. I know what aldehydes smell like. This doesn't smell like aldehydes. You can come down to my lab and I'll open up my aldehyde fridge for you and you're gonna get a headache because it's nasty. I mean, I don't think it smells chemically either.
I think it smells super artificial.
Do you really?
I don't think there's... I don't think...
But here's the thing though, if you think about it, aldehydes aren't artificial.
Here's the spray here. I don't want to get it anywhere else. Pretty awesome sprayer. So there's mostly 4 things going on that I smell. There's definitely white musk going on. There's citrus. There's aldehydes. And then the one thing that I think doesn't get mentioned, and it might just be the way that all 3 of those other chemicals interact, but I get a mint note. I get a huge mint note.
Mint?
Is what I get. Mint.
Mint and leaf, right? Is that what you're picking up on?
Yeah.
Okay.
I get a huge amount of
Because I smell like
mint.
something leafy. Okay. So, when you've been wearing this, you keep saying it smells like laundry detergent, and it smells like fabric softener that's specifically supposed to smell like fresh cut grass.
You think?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, I don't think anything really bad of this when I smell it. I mean, I kind of understand why they called it glass wool, though, I'll say. Smelling it kind of smells like white static noise looks like. On the TV, you know how you see just the white and black pixels going off, and you hear the noise?
I could see that. But that's what this smells like? Or what
That's
it would
kind of
look
what it
like?
smells like, yeah. And I get the story of the Ice King or whatever, too, because it kind of does evoke ice in a way, kind of the color of ice, where it's like a foggy, hazy blue,
a
white.
bluey, gray, white thingy.
Yeah. And that's kind of what this is. This is abstract perfumery to like the nth degree. Now, I think in terms of this being like anti-perfume, I really think it is. I think it takes a lot of things that people who are of a certain tier of perfume lovers all hate and consider to be the worst aspects of fragrance, and it takes those and it pushes those and it really makes a radical statement, I think, about perfumery and the state of perfumery currently. Okay, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
What would you think of this?
What do you mean by what?
Just like as a smell, what would you think of that?
This would be really good to spray around my house.
Do you think if someone wore that, you would, if like you were going out on a date with someone for the very first time and they
close my
approached
eyes.
you?
Okay. Date
Here
person.
comes this person.
You. Got it. Okay.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Got
How's
it.
it going?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, nice to meet you. How's it going?
Okay. Got it.
What do you think? What would you think of that human being?
That they just wash their clothes.
That's what you'd think?
Yeah. I mean, I would think that. I mean, I definitely wouldn't think negatively of them, I don't think. I think it'd be neutral to slightly positive feelings. I wouldn't be like, wow, you smell good. I'd be like, you smell interesting. maybe you work at a dry cleaners. I don't know. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, see, and like, that's kind of what we mean by synthetic smelling, laundry detergent smelling shit. Like, people talk about Mont Blanc Individuel smelling like dryer sheets, but they smell like dryer sheets that are trying to evoke different notes other than dryer sheets. It smells like maybe like a fruity dryer sheet that is like a warm, cuddly, like, that smells good. Purposefully, like a shampoo, right? You wouldn't say, oh, that perfume smells like shampoo. You'd say, oh, it smells like a strawberry scented shampoo, where it's denoting the artificial quality and this secondary, like, quote unquote clean note that goes into a lot of aromatic chemicals we find. But they wouldn't be talking about the product itself, but more so the approach to the product. Whereas this, I smell and I think of like, that is just like raw. So the other thing they say with this perfume is that cashmere brings about a lot of woody qualities, and I've even read that there's like some dusty wood hiding in there. I don't smell anything woody.
I don't smell anything woody either.
At all in here. And when I wore it too, I sprayed a couple sprays in a row just to see if I couldn't like overwhelm the chemicals and have them express themselves in their most brutish manner.
No luck?
No luck. It kind of always remains this. I'll say, like, when it dries down, it becomes a lot more pleasant. In the beginning, it is really screechy. Not necessarily in a bad way. It's because, again, the thing is, it's not as if it is a cheap perfume that is attempting to smell like tobacco, but instead just really smells like these very violent artificial tobacco notes. But it is a master perfumer and a master perfume house approaching a crazy concept, glass wool, and doing so with artificial notes. So you kind of see how there's a difference there. It's screechy, but in a acceptable and purposeful and kind of like still enjoyable and kind of inviting manner. Whereas if you just bought like a knockoff of a knockoff brand, right? Like you're buying some company that's like a $4 perfume, and it's like, here's our version of Polo Red, and you're like, why would you do that? Like, Polo Red is already like a $20 throwaway fragrance. But the point is that I think there's a completely different approach to the perfume that results in a completely different result that I don't think a lot of people really kind of understand when they approach Papa Serge here. Okay, so the other thing I think to take into account with this is, since it does kind of smell, since it approaches something like glass wool, and it's trying to take this thing that's presumably, I think it was his aunt's, like his aunt had a fear of glass wool or something, and that's why he approached it, is because it was so prevalent in their day-to-day life. And I think it also is a lot more of a like Andy Warhol move, kind of to slap a big price tag on this bitch and just make it smell like kind of detergent, you know. But I also think it makes you think a lot more, because like, right, so one thing that happens a lot with a lot of forms of art is that you're so used to approaching an art form one way, and so like when you approach perfume, you put on your perfume nose and smell it as for the breakdowns of the notes, and you try to understand the way the entire composition is. But then, like, the second you're done smelling a perfume and you're going around day to day smelling all these things, you're totally not even, like, understanding what you're smelling. You're totally just unactively using your nose as kind of like an annoyance to the rest of your sensory system, rather than something that...
Oh, you sound like Roja Dove.
That's helping you stay grounded, though. Well, he actually does think that, though. He's like,
I know.
He actually believes that you should like turn off your nose. And so I think so this is kind of like an anti. There you go. This is kind of like an anti-Raja Dove perfume, because Raja Dove stated in an interview he can't take the bus and all this other shit because it fatigues his nose, which is like the most accredited nose in the world. It's the greatest nose the world has ever seen is on Raja Dove's face, which is just... Like, Raja Dove can be a great perfumer, that's fine, but to the level that he expresses his own self-aggrandizement, I think is just ludicrous. So I think that's kind of what Serge Lutens did here, that I think is kind of both funny and kind of smart in the same way is by smelling this as a perfume, by putting something this crazy into a perfume bottle, having you pay the same Serge Lutens price you would, and then go about your daily business really forces you to kind of interact with the rest of the world in this way, or at least opens your mind to the possibility of encountering all these other smells in this way, that you should be still using an active nose rather than playing the Raja Dove game.
We've got 2 things we gotta still answer.
Yes.
1, who would wear this?
Yeah.
And
2, what would we rate it?
Yep.
Okay, so what are you rating Laine de Verre?
I'm giving it like a 5.1.
Okay.
It's not bad. It's not great. It's right down in the middle.
I'm going to play the game I played with Bat, right?
Fair. That's fair.
As a piece of art, Laine de Verre is probably up against a high 8, low 9. Like pretty smart, pretty evocative, and pretty thoughtful piece of art. As a wearable perfume, I would probably put it down with a 2, maybe a 3.
Oh, really? That low?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I don't enjoy it as like a smell, but I really like what it's done for me. In the small amount of time I've owned it, I think it has at least opened me up to the concept of trying to fight the
perfume establishment.
Yeah, and the pretentious ideals of those who think that smelling perfume has given you access to the positive side of smelling, and that you can disregard the rest of the world because you have smelt better fragrances than them. Like, what would you, who would wear Laine de Verre?
I already got it.
You do already?
Yeah.
Goddamn. Okay, go for it.
Mr. Clean.
Goddamn.
I mean,
that's pretty good.
I think his bald head also helps. The white T-shirt helps. Just the whole package of Mr. Clean helps. That's what he would wear. I think he would. Not only would he wouldn't smell like it. He would wear it.
That's true, dude.
Mr. Clean would wear it.
Because he's clean, dude.
Yeah.
I imagine he'd just smell like lemons. He just stuffs
Lemons in his pockets.
He stuffs his pants bulge with lemons.
Poor Mr. Clean.
Dude, Mr. Clean. Anyways, probably like some one-off yokai from a Hayao Miyazaki movie. Like, I just kind of imagine, because a lot of the spirits in his film and in Japanese folklore in general kind of come into play as like inanimate objects turned animate, with like an eyeball and a crazy tongue sticking out. Yeah, I don't think it'd be anybody major, because I think it's kind of a minor smell, to be honest. I think that's the whole point of it, but that's what I would say. Yeah.